Born and raised in Portland, Oregon, he went on to become a pioneer in climate modeling and a luminary in the global warming discussion. Since the 1970s, he has advised 5 presidents in the areas of science, education reform, and global warming. The History Makers, the nation's largest African-American video oral history archive, is proud to present A Night with Warren Washington. And now to the President of the National Academy of Sciences, Dr. Ralph Cicerone.
Tonight, we will honor one of America's leading climate scientists. We're going to explore his roots in the state of Oregon, the research that he performed at the National Center for Atmospheric Research, and what it was like to receive the National Medal of Science from the President of the United States. So please help me in welcoming to the stage Dr. Warren Washington. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Dr. Warren Washington. Many of you have known Warren Washington for a long time, as I have, but this evening we're going to have the privilege of going into some of his life experiences that many of us haven't heard before, in addition to learning more about the import of some of the things that we've all seen in the public. I'm going to start by asking Warren a few questions. One of the pleasures in preparation for this evening for me was to begin to learn a little bit about Warren's family background. It turns out that different parts of his family assembled, so to speak, in the early 1900s in Portland, Oregon. Can you get us started from there, Warren? How did all that happen?
Well, I want to pay homage on my family who are sitting up here in the front. And my wife, Mary, who's been a partner in this adventure in learning about science and climate change. And I think I'll start this story of my background and the family background in talking about my father. He graduated from a small black college called Talladega in 1928. He left there almost immediately after graduating as part of the migration of African Americans out of the South. In the late 20s and early 30s, at the time that my father left the South, he talked about his friends who had been lynched and the difficulties of African Americans at that time, especially educated African Americans. Now, on my mother's side, they came from Richmond. And in fact, one of the relatives that was the next, or the older generation than my grandfather, went to Phillips Exeter in the Northeast. And then he went on to Harvard and graduated in 1871. So there was a family sort of tradition of education.
We have a little video clip about that great migration that we'd like to show.
Railroads were the lifeblood of America at the dawn of the 20th century, with jobs for many, including African Americans like Warren Washington's grandfather, Wirt Morton, and his father, Edwin Washington, whose teaching dreams were deferred by the segregation of the day. After moving his family to a mixed neighborhood in northeast Portland, Oregon, Edwin spent nights on his front porch with a gun by his side. Warren Washington was born on August 28, 1936, to Edwin, a dining car waiter, and Dorothy, a nurse and housewife. Hard work, discipline, and religious training at the Family Church of Bethel AME was expected of young Warren and his 4 brothers. Washington's prized possession was his library card, and he read books on scientific pioneers like George Washington Carver, Thomas Edison, and Albert Einstein. At Jefferson High School, while active in the youth chapter of the NAACP, Washington's love for science was encouraged by his chemistry and physics teachers and his father's love of astronomy. Upon graduation, Washington attended Oregon State University. This created the foundation for what would be his life's work.